Crickett, we got some comments I want you to answer.
You like my new Yeti cup?
Nice.
All right. Ryan Yountz, first one, is Crickett's son. Yeah, there's no DNA to confirm or deny it, but yeah, il suo tu papa. I am your father.
He's old enough to be my dad, though.
Next.
I'm not old enough to be your dad. Billy Riviera, I like the body kit, but you should have installed an LS motor.
Yeah, Billy gets it.
Billy gets
He's a
it.
good guy.
Come have beers with us. You can hang out with us. William Fleming, I need to see you guys take it back to Bruce when it's done and see his reaction. As long as you bring a defibrillator so you can get that guy's heart started again, we could probably give a ride over there.
Bruce has to see this thing.
Yeah, has to see it.
He's going to cry a little bit, then he's going to get really excited after he rides in it, and it's actually fast.
Yeah, it's
all
fast.
140 horsepower these things came with.
Next.
Charlie Sipple. I know Duarte likes to paint his HQ cars cash money green, but this one needs to say Coke money white. You know, Miami Vice, I agree.
I mean, when we first got it, when the kit was white, and then the car was white, and we put it on there, like, yeah, we should just leave it white. But I mean,
You mean this right here?
it just doesn't stand out. Like,
It doesn't.
You need a little flair.
Yeah, and you don't want to look like Coke money white. You get pulled over. People think you're a drug dealer.
Yeah, Adam's got a mustache. That's real suspicious. So a lot of people worried about us cutting this beautiful 30,000 mile low mileage chassis. So we make sure we take all the precautions not to damage the fiberglass. So we use real Corvette owner tears to lubricate our blade.
Less chalk on the bark, you know what I mean?
Before we start cutting, you know? Makes for a better cut.
Going. We got the whole driver's side done. I have the rear part of the passenger side all rib nutted, done. The El Chapo cut out all of the parts that needed to be cut out. Oh yeah, you don't need to cut out that much, but just enough so you can tuck more tire. These are my two rears, matchy. And then my fronts, you cut a little bit more out of the front, and it's double layered. It's all fiberglass. So you can't see it, you tuck your head way up under there. So we should be able to tuck a lot of tire.
So we got this sweet kit from Prothane that lets you knock out the stock bushing, replace it with a little more solid poly insert bushing. Still has a metal sleeve in the center, so this is our lower control arm. I just wire wheeled it down real quick and it cleaned up pretty good. Do have some like nice silver paint we're gonna throw on this stuff, a little before and after. Clean up pretty good. Aluminum control arms are nice.
Whoa, look at all these boxes. Yo, Leo, a bunch of NRG showed up. Did you see that?
Did it?
Yo, what the heck is that?
Nachos over at Bennigan.
Yo, what is that?
What? What?
Nothing?
Sean! Do a backflip.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Huh? You see all these seats over here?
Hey.
What's up, guys? So we just got in our Vibrant shipment. Thank you, Vibrant. Big shout out to them, sending us all of our HD clamps that we need for the intercooler piping, hot side and cold side. Got my 45s. It's going to be nice and easy. I'm just going to be able to chop these where they need to be. Two 45s on each side. And then Chris is gonna be assembling
all this stuff. So we got the Garrett G3660, this beautiful boy right here. A little bit overkill for the power we're shooting for, but you know, it's gonna fill out the corner of the engine bay, and it just looks so damn pretty. It's oil and water cooled, so we are gonna have to figure out how we're running water lines over to the opposite side of the motor. And because this was originally a NA RB25, we have to run our oil feed line all the way over from the oil filter side to the front. Fortunately, we have enough room behind the motor to route the lines we need to. So the next step is getting the manifold mocked up and test fitting the turbo to see if we're gonna be able to run a 3.5-inch downpipe, maybe a 3-inch downpipe, depending on what our clearance looks like, and also to see if we have to build any heat shields for our brake master cylinder. And we also have this nice Artec cast stainless steel exhaust manifold. This is the concept one. We're gonna be test fitting to see how everything clears up on it. And yeah.
So is that welder from Harbor Freight?
Yeah. This is a Harbor Freight welder. I tell everybody about it because it's freaking awesome. It was $1,200. It does AC, DC, TIG, stick. It comes with a warranty. There's also a Harbor Freight in every single town across the country. So say for instance, we're at Drift Week and my welder craps out. I can take this over to a Harbor Freight without the box or anything, hand it to them, look up my phone number, and they'll give me a brand new one. So you don't have to have the best stuff out there. You just have to be good with what you got. So today we are working on downpipe Corvette exhaust. Had that MagnaFlow dual exhaust, and it had a 3-inch to a 3.5-inch flare to be able to bolt up to it. I'm doing a 3.5-inch downpipe from the Garrett turbo. So what I did was I cut the flare off, because they don't actually make a really short flare that goes 3 to 3.5. So I cut this off. Since I got to cut it off anyways, I might as well reuse it on the car. So this sits right in with the V-band from Garrett that they provide for you. Now I have the outlet from the turbo to the 3.5-inch, which will meet just like that, nice and perfect. So from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to 90 down. So I'm going to take this weird, funny looking, vibrant U-shape, J-shape, whatever it's called. I'm going to cut right here in the middle of the 90. That's going to attach to there. It's going to 90 straight down. I'm going to put in a 3.5-inch vibrant flex pipe that I'm going to weld in.
Sean Booth, shut up.
Sorry, my bad. We had a great night. Thank you, Leah. Missed you, Cricket.
I missed you too, buddy. In case nobody got it, they all went bowling last night and completely ruined the bowling alley. They were lobbing bowling balls.
You guys will see it in like
yeah, they were overhand chucking bowling balls. I'm glad I missed out.
It'll probably be in Jimmy's video. Stevie World.
I just know him as Stevie, and I like him. So yeah, watch that video when it comes out. They did some goofy stuff, and I'm glad I wasn't there because we all would have probably got arrested. Because if I throw a bowling ball, it's game over. Cut this off. We're gonna put a flex pipe in here from Vibrant as well. Shout out to Vibrant for all of our fittings, all of our piping, intercooler piping, HD clamps, Vibrant V-bands. You know, they really hooked us up. So shout out to them. Love your stuff. Send me a T-shirt. I'll wear it.
Here, you record.
Hey, thank you, Vibrant, for all of our cool shit. See, he gets all the cool shirts because he gets to go through them when they come in. We get the leftovers. So I'm going to set up and start welding. Chris is going to be doing the wiring harness today because we got that in. Who is it from?
Wiring Specialties?
Wiring Specialties. That's right. A piece of metal on it and ground it out, baby. That's it. Nice and easy. You don't need no big shop. You should have seen the miracles we made happen in our last shop.
Why are you making so much noise? It's always the Sean's making
Taking
noise.
out the garbage. Shh, he's taking out the garbage. Keep going, buddy. Keep going. You're doing great. Don't interrupt him. Maybe with a backflip, though. Can you get a backflip? You can give us a backflip anyways. It's Friday backflips. Wow, you didn't even like set up for that. You just kind of just went right to it.
Yeet.
To be so young.
No prep zone, baby.
All right, so we made this up to the turbo. measured the distance between this and the firewall. It only gives me 6 inches between where the firewall is and where this ends. So these are 7 inches if you cut it right on the 90 degree from the outside of the pipe. It's not gonna be enough. 7 plus 1.5 inches, that gives us way too much, so we're at 8.5, so we'd be into the firewall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this really nice vibrant piece and I'm gonna cut all the straights off of it, and I'm gonna end up pie cutting it. And I'll do pie cut 90 and then have it twist a little bit farther over, and then I'll use the rest of it. I'll need another 90 and 45 from it. Do I need the 45? We'll need the 45. So we got this sweet flex pipe from Vibrant as well, and this is also Vibrant. It's a 4 to 3 reducer. Usually you have to cut these back to get to where you want, because I'm using 3.5 to 3, but with this Vibrant flex pipe, I can actually sit it right over top of it. Gives me a nice section to weld onto, and it fits inside of, or outside of the 3.5. So it's gonna be really nice. Don't have to do any chopo on this. It's gonna be really sleek. This is gonna go right down to the 3, and we're gonna switch right by the transmission to the 3-inch from the 3.5. So now I'm just gonna go pie cut my life away. No bacon on the salad.
Lots of pie.
What do you have?
I got a Turbo Smart Wastegate. This one fits right on our Artec manifold. It's already casted in, so we don't have to weld the flanges on. So I'm going to mock this up so you make sure that when he puts his downpipe in, it doesn't hit the edges of our wastegate anyway. Which is good because it's actually pretty compact, and our dump will be a really short, just straight down to the ground. While we did want to do something cool with the wastegate dump, we're probably just going to point it down so we don't have to cut any more holes and hurt any more feelings. Good old cameraman friends. All right. So we got this beautiful harness here from Wiring Specialties. Set us up to use all of our OEM sensors as well as the factory Corvette sensors so we can make all the stock gauges function. And coil pack harness already set up for our R35 coils with the PRP bracket. And then we have all the flying leads on the inside here that is linked into our stock starter signal, the outputs for our temperature sensors, oil pressure sensors, and all that stuff to try and get as much of the stock dash working as possible. So we're going to see how that goes once we get in there. Got to find some wiring pinouts for all the Corvette stuff. And then we have all of our CAN leads as well if we want to put the ECU display somewhere in the car to set up warning lights and all that stuff. So we're going to find the best place to drill the hole in the firewall and see the best way to route the harness. Try and make it hidden. Well, RIP to my snap-on drill. She's cooked. Well, guess I'll use the other drill.
All right, so we are cutting outside, one, because our shop that we are going to be building cars in is currently in the middle of getting built, or at least our lifts put in and all that fun jazz. So I'm cutting this outside because I don't want to make all of this racket inside of the shipping area because I have to cut about 20 pie cuts. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that real quick as well. I just hacked apart this Vibrant setup so I can get the straight pieces off of it. I'm only going to use the straights. And what you want to do is you want to do a 7.5 degree angle on this. That way you do one side is 7.5, the other side 7.5 degrees. Together they equal 15. So those, you get each one, you need 6 pie cuts to equal 90 degrees. Because it's 15 degrees each, 2 of them is 30, do the math. You got to do that 3 times. So there's 6 pie cuts in order to equal a 90. So I have to try and get 6 out of these 2, which shouldn't be a problem. I should be able to get probably 12 of them out of it. So I'm going to set this up and do 7.5 degrees. And this is also one of those little cheap chop saws you can get. Harbor Freight, Northern Tool, wherever. We have a bandsaw, but it's inside and it's currently set up to do upright stuff. And I don't feel like having to mess with it. So this is a lot faster. So we're just going to take and put this right in between 15, tighten it down, and then do cuts. And depending on how big a radius you want, depends on how big of spacing the short side's going to have. So if you want it to be a longer 90, you just give it the inside length, make it longer. If for a tighter radius 90, do a shorter inside length. All right, so I marked on here my straights. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the 7.5 first on this, and then I'll be able to figure out how tight of radius I want. I need it to be pretty tight just to be able to fit between the firewall and the turbo flange. So I'll probably give it maybe a 1/2 inch between on the shortest side. So first, I'm just gonna get this off of here and get our 7.5 degree bend going. Now you will need to clean these up using one of these. You're gonna wanna take either a die grinder or some sandpaper or a file and get, you see how it has that in between there? You're gonna wanna file all that down. One, because it's gonna contaminate your weld. Two, it's gonna mess up the flow. So you wanna make sure all of this is cleaned up after you're done. Take and cut it on one side this way, then you flip it the exact opposite the other way. Put the lines together and have the start of your pipe cups. We started with our pie cuts initially, and I did a 1/2 inch space between all of them. It was actually a little bit too big. I needed to go shorter, so I ended up cutting more and only doing a 1/4 inch space in between them. That gave us the space that we need. The space between. Oh, Dave Matthews reference. Now look at all that room down there. I gained 1.5 inches.
Is that what you tell her?
Mm-hmm. She don't believe me, but you know.
Well, now that we have our linkage going, our center actually centers again. So, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Got all the gears. And reverse would be, whenever we set the set pins for our reverse lockout, will be all the way over that way and forward. That's reverse. So, nice thing with these cooler work shifters that the pivot point's a little higher than the base, so it makes the throw of your shifter a lot shorter. And it feels nice. I don't know if notchy is the word I'm looking for, but I like it. Yeah, this is an OEM boot that matches our OEM leather pretty closely. So once we get this all finished, we obviously got to trim that out some more and notch it more for the hydro. But we are going to use an OEM style boot with our new base plate to kind of give it that almost factory cool finish. Kind of like that. Looks good. Just got to get that reverse lockout thing through here somehow. But I don't know how to sew.
So we ended up doing a lot of fab work on it this time. We did the part of the downpipe. We put in the exhaust manifold, mounted the turbo. Chris started doing the wiring harness.
Cold side intercooler piping.
Cold side intercooler piping is
done.
done. Shifter linkage. We put some tiers on the body panels that we cut off for the previous Corvette owners.
Yep.
The body panel is, all the body panels are done, nuts started in. So it's Friday, they're drifting out there. It's beer 30. All right?
For some beers.
Time for some beers.
Thank
you, ladies.
Cheers, bud.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Donate to our beer fund.
Donate to our beer fund. Joel's gonna put it in on your checkout. Beer for the boys. It'll tack $2 onto your order, and you can share a beer with us. If you do it, we'll give you a shout out on our next video.